Hi, and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button, and don't forget to smack the arse of that subscription button as well. Plus, don't forget to share the video far and wide. This will help with YouTube's algorithm and will help promote the channel more. And if you would like to support the channel and help make it grow, any and all donations can be made to paypal.me/cryptidsroost and would be most gratefully received. If you enjoy listening to the following story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. And don't forget to check out our merch store. The link will be in the description and in the video thumbnail. And if you would like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase, and I'll feature it in one of my videos. And if you're going to leave a dislike, please leave a comment as to why. That way I can review the video, see what you didn't like about it, and possibly make any future changes in the upcoming videos. Thank you. And finally, have you written a CreepyPasta story you would like me to narrate? Have you had any cryptid sightings, paranormal or supernatural encounters? You can submit your stories and encounters to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. And if you would like to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. All links are listed below. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. I work at the only pizza place in town, Part 4. This fantastic story is written by the Pizza Man 2222, aka Rose Black 2222, a wonderful author over on Reddit's Nosleep subreddit. Hey, it's the Pizza Man again. Hope you all saw the last post that Nick made. Since the incident in the forest, I have been released from the hospital. Thankfully, the creature didn't cause any permanent damage. It just took some bandages to heal the wound, and my leg was put in a cast. Although getting used to these crutches have been a pain in the ass, Nick's had to help me up several times when I've lost my balance and fallen on my face. Speaking of Nick, he's actually moved in with me. We got to talking some more since the last post, and as it turns out, he actually been kicked out by his parents. The reasoning for it was because he got kicked out of his college. It was because some other students who he had problems with claiming he was harassing them. Those students had been going to the college for years and were well liked by everyone, so everyone believed them over Nick. He got a call from his dad, who berated him over what happened. Apparently his dad and mom believed the school and other students over their own son. Great parents, right? Nick was told by his dad not to bother coming home for a place to stay, and shortly after, Nick found out his number had been blocked by them. He did see them again at the funeral, but he didn't bother talking with them, and they didn't bother speaking with him. Since Nick had been banned from his home, he'd been drifting from place to place. He would stay at the cheapest motels he could find. Sometimes he would even sleep in his car. Truth be told, he was just about out of money when he returned to my town. I normally wouldn't share information so personal, but I figured you'd all be wondering why Nick decided to move here of all places. I asked him if he was okay to tell you all this, and he said that it was. I managed to get him an interview at Formaggio's. According to Nick, it was something like this. "Have you had any experience in this kind of restaurant?" Mr. Formaggio asked Nick. "I've worked at Domino's for a couple of years." "Good enough. You're hired. So now he and I are working together." "Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. I have been back at work since my last post, mostly to show Nick the ropes. Because of my injury, there are a few conditions in regards to me going to work. For one, I can only head out to work when it's daylight out, and I have to be off before dark if I'm working alone. If I'm working with someone, I can stay to help them close. And lastly, if there is any heavy fog or thunderstorms out, I get the day off. But I want to talk about something that happened on Thursday. because what occurred I have never seen, nor heard about. Nick and I were at Formaggio's. It was later in the day, and most of the customers were heading home. The only customers we had left was Chuck and Sam, who were getting ready for their nightly patrol. "Should I ask them to leave since we're closing?" Nick asked me. "Nah, they're cool." "Hey Pete, I don't think we've been introduced to your friend here. I think I overheard your name is Nick, right?" Chuck asked him. "Yeah, nice to meet you, Chuck," Nick said, reading his badge. They shook hands. Then Nick did the same with Sam. They all chatted for a bit before I told Nick we had to get busy closing. After telling us bye, Chuck and Sam left. Then Nick and I got to closing. Fortunately, there are plenty of counters and such for me to use in order to get around, so I didn't have too much trouble. Nick learned pretty quickly. I showed him how to shut off and clean the ovens and dishes and where to store food in the walk-in fridge. He had taken out the trash and I was counting to see how many of which ingredients we had left and which ones we needed to buy. I was halfway done counting when Nick called me from the dining room. "Hey Pete, can you tell me what the hell this is?" "It's probably just some..." I was about to say until I saw what Nick was looking at. Up in the sky far ahead of us was a swirling rainbow-coloured mass, which was hovering above the forest in the distance. "Ever seen anything like this before?" "No, I've never heard anything like this. I haven't ever seen it in my book." "Think it's dangerous?" "I don't know. Wait, I think that thing is hovering over Carl's house. Take a picture or something of that thing. I'm going to call Carl's shop." "What happens if something comes out of that thing and attacks us?" "We make a break for it." I called Carl. He picked up on the first couple of rings. "Pete, what's up?" "Carl, where are you at right now?" "Just in the back of my store, about to close up." "Why, need something?" "Look outside, towards your property." He did as I asked. "What in the fuck? How long has that thing been there?" "Not sure. Nick and I just noticed it. We didn't see it before, so I'm guessing it have just appeared tonight." Chuck and the others have probably noticed it already, but I think I'll call them anyway. "Have you seen any creatures yet?" "Actually, we haven't, come to think of it, and they usually start coming out at this time." "Do you think that thing in the sky has something to do with it?" Before he could answer, the thing in the sky slammed into the ground. The impact could be heard all across town. "The fuck? You see what that thing just did?" "Yeah, Oh shit." Something came slithering towards the restaurant. Said thing was a giant worm creature. Its mouth was circular with sharp teeth. Its face had multiple eyes matching the rainbow colour of the thing that was in the sky. "Please tell me the restaurant has the rooms to keep that thing back." "Please tell me the restaurant has the rooms to keep that thing back." "Pete, everything all right?" Carl asked. "We're going to need some help here," I said, seeing multiple returned and the other creatures also come towards the restaurant. "Don't worry, I'll be there as soon as possible," Carl said. I heard a loud crash from his end and the call went dead. "Carl! Carl!" I yelled. Oh shit, something's happened to him, didn't it? Looks like it. Does that mean he's... I don't know. I hope not. Carl's tough. We have to believe he'll pull through. Where does that leave us then? That worm thing could come here at any moment. Call the department. Once they hear about what happened, they'll come here. Nick called and told them about the situation. They told him that they were on the way, but it may be a while since there were a lot of creatures. They said it's going to take like 10 minutes. We'll just have to hope we can survive until then. Look under the counter. You'll find some weapons. Jesus Christ, look at all these guns. Yeah, toss me a shotgun and a box of shells. Quickly, now, I said as the worm was now quickly slithering over to us. I quickly loaded and cocked the gun as it started to rear its head back. As it started to strike, I threw the door open and gave it a shot to the face, and it was knocked back. And in return tried taking the opportunity to rush me. I knocked it back with the butt of the gun, then quickly closed the door. You almost let one of them in. I didn't have a choice. If that thing breaks the glass, they'll all be able to get in. I thought the rooms were supposed to keep them back. They do, but opening the door creates a sort of opening in the barrier. Obviously, we can't exactly draw runes in mid-air. Now do me a favour before that worm thing recovers. You ever shoot a gun? A few times. Grab a gun and ammo, then head up to the roof and start firing at these things. I'll meet you up there in just a second. We don't get paid enough for this, he said, climbing up the ladders to the roof hatch. I had to shoot at the worm again, and several returned before Nick started firing. When he did, I leapt over to the ladder, then made my way up. I saw several winged creatures descending towards Nick, and shot them all back. Wow, I didn't even notice them. Thanks, Pete. Don't mention it, just keep shooting. I got the other side of the building covered. The worm and the other creatures continued attacking for the next 5 minutes. We heard other gunshots coming from different parts of town. One of the flying creatures managed to get past me, then sink its teeth into Nick's ribs. Ow, motherfucker! You piece of shit, he said, pulling out a knife, then stabbing out both of its eyes. He aimed his shotgun at it, then blew its head off. Sorry, Nick, I was reloading. Oh shit, I said. I looked up to see another winged creature descending towards me. I was able to block its attack, but it started to lift me by the gun I held. I thought quickly, pulling out a knife and stabbing it in the neck. Seeing as how the creatures that attacked us were dead, save for the worm, we decided to train our guns on it. Unfortunately, we were met with the sound of clicks when we pulled the triggers. Is there any more ammo down below? I asked. No, I grabbed all the ammo we had when I came up here. Should I grab the handguns? They won't do any good against this thing. Then what are we gonna do? It's getting ready to attack again. The worm got ready to attack again when it was knocked back once more. We looked over to see Carl with his gun pointed at the beast. He ran over to it and tossed something in its mouth. Then he ran away from it as fast as he could. What happened next was the worm's head blowing up, bits of blue blood raining down from the sky. Ew! Some of it got in my mouth, Nick said, spitting. Never mind that, we had bigger problems. Look! The explosion had attracted another horde of creatures, who swarmed towards Carl. He was able to hold them off for a little while, but eventually it looked as if he would be overpowered. Thankfully, Chuck and Sam arrived just in time, then took out the other creatures. Thank fucking Christ, Nick said. You said it. Let's head back down. Shortly after, the 5 of us were sitting at one of the tables. I asked Carl what happened, and he said that a creature that he hadn't seen before smashed through his store window and grabbed him, but he was able to break free and kill it. Chuck apologised for taking so long and said that they'd been dealing with calls all night. Then he told me and Nick to stay safe before he and Sam left. When he did, I asked Carl, by the way, how did you make that thing's head explode? Grenade. What? How'd you get it? Don't worry about it. It got the job done, right? True. Need a lift home? I looked at Nick. No thanks. My car luckily didn't get damaged. Alright then. Can't believe I have to get my store's windows replaced and then redraw them runes on it. What a pain in the ass. Anyway, take care, you two. Take care and thanks, Carl, I said. Don't mention it. Oh, and Nick, Carl asked as he was almost out the door. What is it? Carl pointed at me and said, make sure you have his back. Nick smiled and said, yeah, you got it. We locked up and went home after Carl left. On the way, we saw twice as many police cars than usual out, and more creatures we hadn't seen before. Nick and I are lucky to have survived our encounter, and he was fortunate enough to only need some rubbing alcohol and a few bandages on the spot where the creature bit him. I don't know why that thing in the sky appeared, or how these new creatures are presumably connected to it, but we are going to get to the bottom of this. Knowing Carl, he'll probably try to investigate whatever it was that landed near his property. I'll call him tomorrow to see what he's found. Then Nick and I will go to his house later this week. I just hope he doesn't get himself killed, and I hope that I don't run into one of those tall cunts again. See you all again soon. This is Pizza Pete, signing out.